Disclosure. All information is public record. This is our own opinion. We are not making fun of anyone or anything. This is all for entertainment.
Welcome to Relative Detectives. We're going to be talking about the harm of elderly people today. If that's not something that you want to hear, you might want to click out of this video and maybe go watch another one of our videos. With that being said, let's get right into it. Can you imagine sending your mom or dad to a home thinking that they're being taken care of? Like you're sending them to, some little lady that you think is going to be caretaking for them and feeding them and bathing them and making sure they're okay.
Like a nursing home?
Yes, a nursing home.
Okay.
But you find out they're not. And this lady is not what she seems at all. So, yeah. We're going to be talking about Amy Archer-Gilligan. She was born Amy E. Dugan on October 31st. Dugan? Why is Dugan funny? Amy E. Dugan, born March 31st, 1873. She was a Halloween baby. October 31st. Halloweeny.
Weenie, you're weird.
She was born to James Dugan and Mary Kennedy. And we don't know much about her childhood. There's just not a lot as far as research or public record goes. We just really don't know. The only thing we know is that she was number 8 of 10 kids.
Good Lord, get off.
I don't know what mom and dad was doing in there, but Okay, so she was 8 out of 10 kids. Evidently, she lied a lot about everything. So we really don't know what's true, what's not true, because she just told everybody stories about everything she'd done, been, said. So we don't really know. We do know that she went to the Milton School and the New Britain Normal School in 1890. What this lady was accused of was poisoning up to 60 people that were in her care. And we'll get into all that. We'll go through the whole, we don't have record of every person, but there's like a few we do, so we'll have that info. She may have been considered a sociopath, and just so you know that, the sociopath definition is someone that does not care for other people. They only think about themselves. They tend to lie a lot. They break laws. They have hostility. They're manipulative. They have aggression issues. If you look up the definition, that's pretty much what it says. Mm-hmm. So, it's been said that she was a sociopath. So that's going to pretty much let you in on what she has done, is going to do.
It's crazy.
She killed, I think, it doesn't really say why she killed, but I think she killed for insurance money. Just money in general. Some of her people left her things they had, land or possessions or, life insurance, just money in general. They just left her stuff.
Did she manipulate them into leaving?
Yes. She manipulated. That's part of the sociopath.
Yeah.
They manipulate people to, get what they want pretty much. They don't care anything about you. They just manipulate and,
money,
anything that they can do to better themselves, or whatever they want. That's most important. So, she got married in 1897 to a man named John Archer. And they had a daughter in 1897. Her name was Mary. Evidently, Mary was very talented. They sent her to the Campbell School for Girls, and she took piano. She was very good at it, so Mary would make her play piano in the nursing home, if that's what you want to call it.
Boring.
The fees for that back then, I mean, this is, the end of the 1800s. So the fees for that were $40 to $50 annually for her to take piano at this school.
That's expensive.
So, honestly, I probably should have done the research on what that equals out to today, but I'm an amateur, so I didn't.
I bet you it's probably like now.
But I mean,
now it's hella expensive now.
Yeah, $40 to $50 back then was probably a pretty good chunk of money. So we know she needed money to pay for that too. I mean, hello. So the Archers met this man, and his name was John Seymour. They met him in 1901. They made a deal with him to take care of him. He was getting elderly, so they were going to take care of him and live in his home. They were in Newington, Connecticut, and the Archers made his home their nursing home. So they started taking care of other people. Amy called it Sister Amy's Nursing Home. I guess she thought using the word sister would make people trust her more or think she was a better person. Yeah, she was more religious or whatever. And they've said that they would see her sometimes walking around town holding a Bible. So she tried to make herself look like she was a little better than her mom. So they had a money situation set up for the people that moved in. So they either paid $7 to $25 a week or $1,000 up front for their whole lives. So, here again, this is 1901, early 1900s. That's, a lot of money for somebody that may not have a whole lot. Mm-hmm. But then if you're in better health and you're like, well, your husband or wife's died, but you're still in pretty good health. You want somebody to take care of you. That's really appealing for somebody to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to pay the $1,000 for my whole lifetime stay with this woman. I mean, you're just paying that one flat fee and you get to be there for the rest of your life. But now she would take some of these people that were in better health and make them, do things for her, garden, clean up, if they were able to do things. So, of course, she's, starting her, I ain't going to do shit routine, so whatever's good for Amy is good for Amy. So, John Seymour ended up dying in 1904. We do not know what he died from. So there's that. We don't know if Amy started her killing with him. There's no record of how this man actually died or what they said he died from, so we don't know. They kept the home for a little while, but his family ended up wanting to sell the house. So basically the Archers had to leave because his family was selling the home. So in the meantime, they had saved up enough money to buy another home. So they weren't on the street or nothing. So they had saved up enough money. And they bought this home in Windsor, Connecticut on Prospect Street in 1907. And Amy named it the Archer Home for the Elderly and Infirm. So they continue to care for all these people. So the deaths occurred in this home, as far as we know, from 1907 to 1917. They say that she poisoned her patients with arsenic I've heard lemonade, but who knows? I mean, she could have been putting it in everything. I mean, she'd be, sending your papa some mashed potatoes with some arsenic You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know what she was putting it in, you know? Like,
gravy.
You don't know. Like, here's the gravy for your turkey with some arsenic in it. But so that, you just don't know. It says lemonade if you look it up, but, like I said, anything. So if you poison somebody with arsenic, now imagine getting poisoned with arsenic and feeling nauseous, having abdominal pain, throwing up, having diarrhea, dizziness, muscle cramps. The list goes on, and then you can die, of course, because that's what happened to these people. But the definition of arsenic, it is a chemical element that is used, it's very toxic, obviously, but it's used in car batteries, ammunition, pesticides, herbicides, and insecticides.
Oh.
So basically, you get all these like things on TV that even tell you not to breathe in like, weed be gone or whatever, because it'll give you cancer in your lungs, or, there's all kinds of crap that you hear, out here. You don't know if it does or doesn't, but hello, you're not supposed to ingest that stuff. It can kill you. So that's what she was doing, was giving all her patients arsenic. So, she claimed also to have nursing skills. I don't know, like, there's no evidence that she ever took nursing classes or went to nursing school or worked at hospitals or knew what she was doing at all. Like, she just told people this, I guess, there again, to make them feel better so she could lure them in and do the things that she does. So that's another one of her lies that I guess came up, she just made up. So her husband, they're taking care of these people, supposedly taking care of the people. Her husband, James, he died in 1910. And they said he died of kidney disease.
From ingesting that shit? She done killed her husband. The bitch went crazy.
Yeah. Well, hello, who doesn't think that? I do. I think she killed everybody that she was around except for her daughter. If she had feelings for anybody, it would probably have been her daughter, because she was the only one that was around and she didn't really do anything to, so, honestly, if she had feelings for anybody, it was Mary. They said he died of kidney disease, of course, but I think she poisoned him. But she had this doctor named Dr. Newton Bell, and he would come in and look at these people and examine them and all that, and he would come up with cause of death. So I don't know if this doctor was in on it, or definitely. You know what I mean? Because hello, you got these people passing away, and this doctor's coming in and being like, oh, you just died of kidney disease. Well, what do you think arsenic's going to do? Hello, it probably shuts down your kidneys if you're freaking diarrheaing everywhere and vomiting. It's going to shut your kidneys down.
Shitting and puking.
Seriously. So there's that. Well, of course, what did James have? Life insurance. So she took the life insurance to keep going with her business. Shocker that he had life insurance and he died of kidney disease. Okay. So this doctor, he just, come quickly, look at them. Oh, yeah, they died of this. And then, of course, she'd quickly get rid of the bodies, embalming them or cremating them or, whatever, just to get them out of there. And she would say that she was doing that for, the comfort of her other patients, that she didn't want, the bodies to just be staying, lingering around. So the quicker the better, right? Because if you're going to poison somebody, you got to get them out of there. Not long after all of that, one of Amy's patients, Lucy, accused her of neglect. And I don't know if Lucy didn't have any family or like what was going on with that, but Amy had her put in a mental institution. So let's push Amy, and Amy just threw her in a mental institution.
Trying to get rid of her.
I mean, she didn't want anybody to hear her say, "Oh, you're fucked up in the head."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Or she probably found out a little
yeah.
bit.
I mean, who knows? But she threw this poor lady in a mental institution. So, and people have also said that she didn't pay her taxes good, like she was supposed to. So, I mean, she was in trouble with money, you know, not paying her taxes. Then there was a second patient of Amy's named Teresa that accused her of being mean and, you know, neglecting her, saying the house was always cold, the house was always dirty. You know, she just didn't do the things she's supposed to do to take care of her. So this girl or this lady, she was writing letters to her daughter. And at first, her daughter was just like, "Oh, mom, you know, you're being crazy or whatever. Like, don't pay attention. You're in like the nicest place and the nicest room and the not, you know, that, you know." She didn't believe her, but the lady wouldn't give up. Teresa wouldn't give up. She just kept writing her daughter about how bad things were and how she felt and how it wasn't great and all this. So she finally takes her serious and kind of like, okay, fine. She keeps writing me these letters. I'm going to go look.
Yeah.
So she shows up and goes over there. Well, of course, what does she discover? Total neglect. Her mom was telling the truth the whole time. So the daughter sues Amy.
Oh, shit.
So finally, she's got some consequences from somebody. And, you know, honestly, like the first lady that she put in the mental institution, like, at least she's not with Amy.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, and this lady, like, she was saved. You know, her daughter came and looked and was like, "No way, you're not staying here anymore. I'm suing this bitch." Like, you know, I mean, she's saved. Mm-hmm. So at least you got two of them that you know that are out of there, you know. But they settled out of court for $5,000. So $5,000 back then was like a lot of money. So when Amy, I guess, had to pay them the $5,000, she needed money to keep going. So what did she do? She got married again.
Oh, she a hoe.
So she marries this man named Michael Gilligan in 1913. And of course, his family had money.
Mm-hmm.
So,
gold digger.
Mm-hmm. Digging for that gold.
She can continue in murder.
So she, of course, moved him in. He had 4 adult sons, and his wife had passed away. I don't know how, but
she murdered her.
Murder! Scandal! No. So his wife passed away, and his 4 adult sons, of course, they're grown and gone out of the house. So, you know, their dad's pretty much doing what he wants, I guess. So Amy moved him in. He was a pretty healthy guy, you know, nothing really wrong with him.
Until she got her claws in him.
So around this time, after she got married and moved in her husband, a man named Franklin Andrews, who they called Frank, moved into the house to be cared for. And Frank, he was a pretty healthy guy. Like, you know, he just needed, you know, somewhere to go. Like, he was younger than most of the people that came in there. But he thought, hey, you know, $1,000 of my whole life, like, you know, I'm going to get taken care of. So, well, yeah, for real. So let's go for it. Well, Frank and her husband, Michael, actually became friends because they were, you know, younger guys. And so they hung out a lot and everything. So, you know, they got pretty close. But 3 months after she marries her husband, Michael, what happens? He dead. He dead. Okay. So the doctor comes in. He died on February 20th, 1914.
Of kidney?
In the meantime of that, there's a new doctor that comes in, Dr. King. And so he started doing what the first doctor was doing. He's coming in and doing the examinations and looking at these people and, seeing what was wrong with them and coming up with the cause of death. So here we go again. Same thing. Do these doctors get involved with her? Are they in on it? Like, don't know. So, her husband dies. And the doctor said Michael died of severe indigestion. That was his.
Take a Tums. You be fine. Like, damn.
Go back in time. Here's a Tums. Let me get on my time machine. Tums. Okay.
Tums, that motherfucker.
I mean, I don't know what they did back then for indigestion. I have no idea.
Who knows?
And again, life insurance.
I bet it's more.
So his family had money, so I'm sure he had, a big life insurance. And not only did he have life insurance, he signed over everything to Amy, his estate, his money, the whole spiel.
Damn.
And here he had 4 adult sons.
He got nothing.
He signed over everything to Amy. Okay. So, his sons were fit to be died. They're like, what is this crazy bitch done to our dad? If I come in and, my mom and dad are still married, by the way, which love them both. So,
me too.
If somebody had married my dad and like 3 months later he dies of some crazy shit and then he leaves her, no, something's going on because my daddy ain't doing that. You know what I mean? Something fishy going on. Like, no. So then a few months later after that, who dies? You'll have to excuse me because I keep looking at my notes because I'm like totally old school. So a few months after that, Franklin dies. Michael's friend.
Oh, the young
decided
guy that
he was
in?
going to come in. Yeah.
Oh.
And so he dies. And he died on May 29th of 1914. They said that he was outside gardening. So, he seemed fine that morning outside gardening. And then by that evening, he was dead. Doctor comes in. Gastric ulcer, cause of death.
Gastric ulcer?
Gastric ulcer. So all this stuff that this doctor is saying, kidneys, indigestion, gastric ulcer, like, I'm no doctor, but like, if you're poisoning somebody with arsenic, is that not going to shut down your organs?
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to shut down after all the puking and diarrhea and everything else you're going through. Yeah.
It'll shut down your kidneys and everything, yeah.
So, I don't know. Either these doctors just didn't want to get in the middle of it. They were in on it. Like, what? Like, how do you not know that somebody's being poisoned when they keep dying over and over and over again in this house with this woman and they're dying from basically organ failures? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Of course, back then they didn't have the technology we have today and all the knowledge and all the stuff. So who knows?
Well, they had a fucking brain.
Some people do.
Some people don't.
Okay, so Frank, you know how I said earlier, him and Amy's husband, Michael, were like buddies. So because I guess he was friends with them, Amy decided she was going to start asking Frank for money because I mean, who knows what she wanted money for? She probably didn't have had any money to pay for anything she had, but she was asking Frank for money, but she didn't want him to tell anybody that she was asking him for money. So she didn't want him to tell her husband that she was asking for it or anything like that. But Frank did. He wrote to his kids, the sons, and told them that Amy kept asking him for money over and over. And he told them this multiple times in multiple letters. So I think the sons had said, don't give her any money or whatever. But Frank, being the nice guy he was, what'd he do? He gave her money. Well, when did he die? Of course, right after she gave him money.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go again. It's beyond me that nobody's seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's noticing that every time, somebody has money or comes in there with money, or I mean, even her husband's like, they're just croaking around her all the time. And she gets away with this for like years. Well, the people over the years did expect, or suspect Amy of doing something to all these people. But like, they couldn't do anything about it because, of course, back then there was no laws for nursing homes like we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there wasn't really anything, that they could do. It was just totally different back then than it was now. And all the rules and everything that we have for elderly care and all that stuff today just wasn't around. So this lady named Nellie Pierce knew something wasn't right. And she went to the police and the district attorney and told them that she suspected Amy of, doing something to all these people. But of course she was ignored. So what did Amy do? She kept doing her thing. So over time, the Hartford Courant, which was the paper there in Connecticut, that they got wind of some of the things that were happening in this nursing home. So they wrote stories on it, and they released quite a few articles on it. And this paper dubbed Amy's nursing home as the murder factory. So people started, reading these articles about the murder factory.
Mm-hmm.
So the police started listening because here all these articles were coming out. People were talking, you walking down the street, you go to the grocery store, you see, Aunt Maggie. Did you hear about this lady named Amy down the street, that has this house for elderly people? And they're saying she's poisoning people and killing people. I mean, you know how it is. I mean, people talk. So you're like Aunt Maggie. So, of course, here comes the police. They did an investigation, and the investigation lasted for 5 years.
Damn.
They did all kinds of different, looking into this, looking into that. So they finally exhumed bodies, and they exhumed 5 bodies. And we do know that Michael Gilligan was one of them. Frank Andrews was one of them. But the 3 others are unknown. We don't know what their names were. So her husband and, Frank, they exhumed and ran tests on them. They were re-examined and all that kind of stuff. They had all been poisoned with arsenic. All 5 of these bodies. We do know that they discovered all 5 of them were poisoned with arsenic. I mean, shocker, hello. I mean, what did you think? So she was arrested finally after all this time of, poisoning these poor elderly people. I mean, that's horrible. It's like I said at the beginning of the video. Imagine sending your mom somewhere thinking she's getting taken care of, and then she gets, poison lemonade daily from some crazy old bitch. I mean, seriously, like for real, you'd be like, I mean,
just thinking she's being taken care of, and next thing you know,
yeah, I mean, how mad would you be? You'd be wanting to, like seek out that old bitch and take her out. I mean,
revenge. Here's some lemonade.
Yeah, you drink the lemonade, bitch. You drink it. So, she was arrested, charged with 5 counts of murder.
Goodness.
And she received a sentence of death by hanging.
Ooh.
This was in June of 1917. So here we go with Amy. We ain't done yet. You think, oh, okay, yeah, she's going to hang. No,
done.
Not done. So she got this appealed somehow. Who knows? Don't know.
My gosh.
So they had a whole new trial. And of course, what did she do? Plead insanity. That bitch wasn't insane.
No.
She was a sociopath. She was just a damn selfish ass hoe and, thought that she could do whatever she wanted to anybody she wanted to.
Asshole.
She was a selfish asshole.
Asshole.
So, I mean, why are people crazy?
It's like, makes the world fun a little bit.
Oh my God. It gives us something to talk about. It gives us this right here. So when she had that overturned and they did a new trial and she claimed she was insane, she claimed also that she was suffering from an addiction to morphine. Now, back then, you could just go down to the drugstore and buy morphine.
Oh, yeah, you could.
So, you didn't have to have a prescription. You didn't have to be in the hospital after surgery or nothing like that. You could just walk down there and buy some.
Dang.
I mean, could you imagine if you could do that today? OMG. So her daughter, Mary, ended up testifying for her on her behalf that she did have an addiction to morphine. So basically they're saying she's insane and she has this addiction to morphine, the insanity, the drug use, and all the stuff, I guess contributed to the fact that she wasn't right in the head, and did all this stuff to these people. So, she got, in the end, she was only charged with 1 count of murder, and that was for Franklin Andrews, the guy that was, friends with her husband that she also killed.
The one in the garden? Who's gardening?
Yeah, he was the healthier guy that was gardening. So she got charged with his murder, but she got a sentence of life in prison. So she went from, going to be hanged to she went from going to be hanged, charged with 5 murders, to charged with 1 murder and getting life in prison. So she eventually, she's in prison. And so she would act like she was insane. Like while she's in prison, she would act like she was disconnected from reality and, act like she was all crazy. She'd be in there.
And the Oscar goes to.
Exactly. Let's give her a trophy. So.
Participation trophy.
She got a participation trophy for insanity. So, they ended up, come on. I think she was acting, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. She knew what she was doing the entire time. She was just trying to get money. She was trying to get, people's crap, their land, their inheritance, whatever she could get out of people, because she was greedy and lazy and she was, a piece of shit and she didn't want to do nothing. That's my opinion. Who doesn't think that? Seriously. But so they took her and ended up putting her in an insane hospital in the mental ward. She was transferred to the Connecticut Hospital for the Insane in 1924. And she spent the rest of her life in that hospital.
Okay.
So I'm kind of hoping that somebody might have been a little mean to her in that hospital. Maybe like she was mean to the people that she had in her house.
Karma.
I mean, just
It's a
saying.
bitch.
Just saying.
Oh, hell yeah.
So she lived till she was 88 years old. She died April of 1962. And she was 88.
Dang.
And I mean, that's pretty much it. She was in that mental institution for the rest of her life.
Sitting in the corner.
Yeah, probably acting a fool.
Acting a damn fool.
But like, what do you think about that?
It's crazy.
I mean, it's insane to me that people, especially like elderly people, here, I'm going to go into something that's, I mean, I guess it pertains to it, but you know.
Yeah.
Elderly people, children, animals, anything that needs you for care and protection. And you're going to just shit all that to the wind. Like, just, you know. I mean, she's giving old people arsenic and killing them. Like, I don't know. Of course, when you're not, you know, mentally ill, your brain doesn't work the same way, you know, or whatever.
Chemicals off,
But,
brains.
like, I just don't get stuff like that. I don't get it. And of course, we never will get it.
Unless you become
And
one
like,
of it.
That's why we're here talking about stuff like this, because we don't get it. So it's like, you know, you bring it to attention, put it out there, you know, everybody talks about it. Like, some people don't like to talk about it, but I mean, sometimes in some situations, I think people can be helped, but then there's other situations where they can't. I mean, I guess that depends on really what's going on. But I don't know. I just don't get people. But yeah, that was the story of Amy Archer-Gilligan. And she was a crazy old bat.
Yeah, she was. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cuckoo for cocoa arsenic. Cuckoo for arsenic. Arsenic. I said arson. That's burning. She should burn.
I know, for real. Well, in my opinion, she is burning.
Oh,
in fire hell. Fire hell. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah.
Hopefully our first video wasn't too crazy. We're new at this. We're total amateurs. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you on the next case. Bye.
Bye-bye.